Okay, this is the second video for the y-axis. So now that we've got both our roller cages assembled, you want to go over here. You want to make sure that your motor mounts, you got two of them. This one's not going to be used for a motor, so make sure they're both facing this direction, the inside the pockets. Make sure they both fit the inside direction. And you go ahead and you put one motor mount on one side. Give me a second here. My parts are stubborn and don't always cooperate with me. There we go. And then go ahead and put the other side on. There we go. And then a whole bunch of these screws. You're just going to put these in. You're not going to hold them in place just yet. And I'm not sure if they're always going to be this long. I might cut them. They don't seem to be the way of anything as of yet. So I could kind of use them as a guide to figure out where the X stage goes when I build that. There we go. That one's done. So you don't want them tight right now because you may need to adjust this a little bit. Because the next part's the fun part. It's actually putting the y-axis on the Mendel. Okay. And be careful. Looks like I chipped this plastic piece a little bit, so be careful when you piece things together. I don't know when I did it, but I chipped that. It'll still work, but I don't know, I might send you an extra one of these just in case. I try to send a few extra parts, but I may not always be able to do that. It depends on how much I'm able to make. Okay, so it goes on this direction. So what we want to do is we want to loosen up. We got our Mendel. Put that back on. You want to loosen up, but be careful not to, there we go. Don't drop motors. Okay, let me put that to the side. So I'm going to go ahead and loosen this up. You want to put this one back about halfway. And this one you want to loosen up. And there we go. This one's a little bit shorter. These are just some tubing I had extra, but there we go. Okay, so about halfway up. Then it sounds bad, but those motors are fine. They fell on the cloth. Okay, so with it this way, you feed it in, and you guide one at a time. Careful for your hands. Last thing you want is there we go. I put the wrench at the bottom so that the pipe wouldn't get me. Okay. And so you haven't tightened the ends yet, so that's good. So you leave the other bar free floating for now. And then go ahead. Go ahead and push this one in too. stubborn. So this one, I'm going to remove the end piece. This end piece kind of keeps the bearing squished together. It makes it a tight fit. If you can't get a side through, you take that off. I showed you how to construct it in an earlier video. Okay. You got that. There we go. And then you put this back on. And it's designed so that if it's not a perfect fit, the bearings can bend a little bit. It's part of why there's the rubber tubing in there, so it will flatten back out when you bolt down and tighten this. Don't be alarmed if everything's weird, like your bearings are slanted and stuff. They'll straighten out. What happened is I think I have a bolt on the other side that's kind of stuck, won't go all the way in. It needs to. Once I tighten this, it will go where it needs to. There we go. So anyway, I'll tighten this more a little bit later. More just want to get the video done so you guys can see. There we go. Okay, put this back down. And so I have not there we go. I was going to say, I think I need to tighten this back. So, I'm sure there's an easier way to do this, like maybe putting a book underneath. But this is the one area where you could accidentally bend your accesses. So you want one side in and one side you pull on for the z-axis, excuse me, for the y-axis. You want to pull it and make sure that it's the right length this way. That's why we haven't tightened these inside ones yet. And then go ahead and once we get it here, go ahead and tighten up here again, and tighten down here. And there is very loose, a little bit wobbly still until everything's tightened up. Y-axis. And let me put the motor back. And you can see there's the motor. And there's the motor. There you go. Need a little bit of an adjustment for this motor right there. Then I'll show you how to do the threading for the y-axis and motor placement. So there you go. Once these are tightened up, there will be no wobble and no play.